Ladies and gentlemen, this episode made me love Kagestu's character even more. What a wholesome and awesome guy. Hello everyone and welcome to Dueling with Downton, and today we're talking all things episode 9 of the Cardfight Vanguard Divinez Parallactic Clash. And this episode explored the connections between Kurumi, Kanami and Kagestu, while also showcasing some amazing reasoning and emotional exploration. So this is the first time that we've seen Kurumi cardfight, and overall I loved it, mainly for the emotional elements within the fight itself. I found myself getting absorbed within this cardfight to the point where I was cheering for the antagonist. Now, her cards don't really excite me all that much, but I do like how they stay in theme with Kanami's archetype in the kind of magical, mystical elements that both decks bring with them. Playstyle wise, creating tokens / copies of your units, attacking from the back row, it's all classic Sogia playstyles. But this deck does have a bit of a twist, thanks to its ace monster, Grand Magic-y Caster of Translucitory, Zorith. Phantom. That's a mouthful. But it's following Phantom skill. Bind all of your Crimson Moon cards from your soul and drop. Choose up to the same number of trigger cards, other than over triggers, as the number of Crimson Moons bound for this cost from your drop zone. Return them to your deck and shuffle. Sounds familiar? Well, it should be, because it's very much like Raziel's skill, with both decks playing with the theme of deck thinning, so that you're more likely to draw your trigger units. And to keep the connections going more, both play a offensive and defensive playstyle when needed. For Akina, it's more of a defensive playstyle normally, yet he can switch it up and make it offensive, like we've seen previous. But then for Kurumi, her playstyle is more offensive, but can still be defensive by putting in heal triggers instead of criticals. Now then, onto Kurumi herself. Her perspective, we know that she wants to live, and in order to do that, she needs to help this illusionary world alive. But they go a level deeper here in explaining how Kurumi really loves this world, as to her, that's all she's ever known. In the Verity, she didn't really have a life outside of the hospital. She couldn't go out with friends, never had new experiences, and yet here she's healthy. She's able to go out, learn new things, see new things, and experience things with friends and people that she's never met before, making her life happy and normal in this parallactic world. She's fighting for the same reasons as our heroes are, not to protect her life, but to protect her world, her home, and her amazing friends that help make it. This really does make the clash between these two parties even more emotionally intense. Kurumi's desires are even more understandable and stronger now, thanks to this episode, and I love how we're still building on these characters this late into the series. Ikumi Hasegawa was phenomenal this episode. The voicing of Kurumi was on a different level. The levels of emotional range was perfect. We heard things like joy, the desperation, the sadness. All of it was believable, to the point where it started making me root for Kurumi, calling out all of the triggers that she was drawing, when she was desperate for that critical, when she was desperate for that heal trigger to save her world and life, and when she got that over trigger. I found myself completely immersed and captivated by this episode, where I was rooting for both parties, but also just having a blast doing so. My final point on Kurumi though, was that having her fight at the hospital does give us a little bit more insight to her thoughts. Yes, it's a special place to her, and to the characters that are connected to Kurumi, but also, it tells us that she's not quite ready to let go of the Verity world just yet, as her ties to the hospital are still too strong. If she wanted to completely cut ties with the Verity, and not let her friends go back, this hospital and those memories would not be an issue. Yet, we still find ourselves back at square one. So then, Kagestu. This guy was purely awesome. And I loved how kind and understanding he was throughout this episode. He just wanted to see both of his cousins happy, and he's grateful that Kurumi is happy in this world and living her life to the fullest. He wants her to fight with everything that she has to keep what truly makes her happy and is important to her. He didn't want to try and convince her that she should die and let everyone else go back to the verity and be happy. He wanted to face his cousin at her best, while also making sure that she was happy at the same time. Yet despite this, he was ready to face her and destroy it all for Kaname. He saw how much pain and sadness Kaname went through after Kurumi died, and he also saw how much dedication and passion and hard working Kaname was, in continuing her desire to fulfill Kurumi's dream in Vanguard. So staying in this world would erase that effort and that hardship and those feelings. So Kagestu is fighting to protect that. He's fighting to protect the dream between Kaname and Kurumi. He will do everything it takes to make sure that Kaname can fulfill her goals, because she's still not yet completed it. There was no hatred, or malice, nor fear, or overconfidence when facing Kurumi. Yes, they had some friendly banter, but that just showcases the kindness and vibes that this was giving off. Yes, it was a massive fight. Kagestu is one of the strongest fighters on our hero's team, so the risk of losing him is absolutely massive. And if you beat Kurumi here, you get even closer to Garbelius, thus achieving your goals. Yet this fight felt like a typical at-home, chilling with your friends and family type of card fight, which I think helped to make the episode more captivating. I also liked how Kagestu wasn't worried one bit after his loss at the end. He had full faith in Akina, Kaname, and Erika, which this faith that he has in them helped to play a massive part in Kagestu being able to freely, openly enjoy the card fight, thus getting the best form of himself. Now, I'm not going to lie, on Kagestu's playstyle, obviously we've seen it quite a lot, but that unit that he does bring out, there's like his new trump card where it's got 2800 attack, just from being a grade 3. Did anyone else kind of think of Shinanon? I think that's his name. The store owner from the original Cardfight series. Remember that spin-off series that they did where he had the deity kind of grade 4 unit that was massively strong? That just kind of reminded me of this, but obviously this was a grade 3. The bonds between teacher and student. Kagestu training Kaname was really sweet and even more wholesome when you factor in Kagestu's backstory. The fact that he wanted to give up on Vanguard. Well, obviously the pro side of things mainly, but at the same time he could not put the cards away, as they were a great connection to him and his cousins, always going into the hospital to card fight with Kurumi and Kaname, being at family events. Card fighting is something that brought the family closer, but also has made them stronger. Again, we saw Kaname's determination and desire, and I love that Kurumi is still a part of the family, even after her passing, and even after she's going against our heroes in order to erase everything that they've gone through. It's interesting how Kagestu doesn't have a Parallactic variant, but I guess it's because of connection to his Vanguard. And now that the Moon Gate is inactive, making it so that our heroes cannot have any more mysterious people awakening, and they have to do it all on their lonesome. This episode was an emotional roller coaster, and I think that roller coaster will continue and get even faster and higher as we go into the next episode, with it revealing the two sisters will face off. Now, I don't really see Kaname winning, but the words, the emotion, the tears, this is going to be something. So grab your tissues because someone is going to be cutting onions. With that being said, let me know your thoughts on this episode in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Alligator matane. Goodbye.